The Sunday school lessons for May 18th, 2025 are Worship is Restored and Mourning the Past or Celebrating the Future. Ezra chapter 3, verses 1 through 6 and verses 10 through 13. If you are new here, welcome, and this is an audio reading of the lesson and the lesson summary. Ezra 3 opens with the returned exiles gathering in unity to rebuild the altar of the God of Israel and reestablish worship in Jerusalem. This moment follows the events of Ezra chapter 1 and 2, where King Cyrus of Persia issued a decree allowing the Jewish exiles to return home and rebuild the temple, and where a detailed list of those who responded to that call is recorded. With their journey complete and their numbers accounted for, the people now take their first faithful steps toward restoration, beginning not with walls or buildings, but with worship. Our backstory ends here, and our lesson begins with the next frame. Verse 1. When the seventh month came and the Israelites had settled in their towns, the people assembled together as one in Jerusalem. Verse 2. Then Joshua, son of Zodadak, and his fellow priests, and Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, and his associates began to build the altar of the God of Israel to sacrifice burnt offerings on it, in accordance with what is written in the law of Moses, the man of God. Verse 3. Despite their fear of the peoples around them, they built the altar on its foundation and sacrificed burnt offerings on it to the Lord, both the morning and evening sacrifices. Verses 4 through 5. Then, in accordance with what is written, they celebrated the festival of tabernacles with the required number of burnt offerings prescribed for each day. After that, they presented the regular burnt offerings, the new moon sacrifices, and the sacrifices for all the appointed sacred festivals of the Lord, as well as those brought as free will offerings to the Lord. Verse 6. On the first day of the seventh month, they began to offer burnt offerings to the Lord, though the foundation of the Lord's temple had not yet been laid. Verse 10. When the builders laid the foundation of the temple of the Lord, the priests, in their vestments and with trumpets, and the Levites, the sons of Asaph, with cymbals, took their places to praise the Lord as prescribed by David, king of Israel. Verse 11. With praise and thanksgiving they sang to the Lord. He is good. His love toward Israel endures forever. And all the people gave a great shout of praise to the Lord, because the foundation of the house of the Lord was laid. Verse 12. But many of the older priests and Levites and family heads who had seen the former temple wept aloud when they saw the foundation of this temple being laid, while many others shouted for joy. A brief summary. The seventh month was a special month in Israel's calendar. It included the Festival of Trumpets, the Day of Atonement, and the Festival of Tabernacles, or Booths. The spirit of unity among the returnees is seen as the people assembled together as one in Jerusalem. Joshua, son of Zodazak, not to be confused with Joshua the son of Nun, who lived centuries earlier, was in the lineage of the high priests. Zerubbabel was a grandson of Jehoiakim, one of the last kings of Judah. These men led in the rebuilding of the altar and reinstitution of the sacrifice as written in the law of Moses. Despite their fear of the surrounding nations that resented Israel's return to Jerusalem, the returning Jews faithfully offered the morning and evening sacrifices. Having completed their preparations in the second month of the second year after their return, they began work on the temple's foundation. The laying of the foundation of the temple elicited mixed emotions from the onlookers. Some who had seen Solomon's temple prior to its destruction some 50 years earlier wept aloud at the sight. They may have been reflecting on the sin of Israel that brought about Jerusalem's devastation, or recognizing that the new temple would lack the splendor of the former. Others, however, shouted for joy. Thank you so very much for listening. And remember, every Sunday at 1 o'clock, I release a new video for the upcoming Sunday school lesson. Thank you for all that you do to help me walk in my purpose.